walk you through common plan types and what terms to focus on, how to evaluate the total cost and risk of each of your health plan options, and 3, how to use an HSA to minimize your out-of-pocket risk for both the short and long term. To give you a strategy to evaluate your health plan options and make the best choice at open enrollment, I'm going to use a case study. So Katie is a single 52-year-old. She was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago. Thankfully, she's currently in remission, but she has no idea what her health insurance expenses are going to be this year. She's a high school teacher and makes $48,000 a year. Katie's employer, ABC Public Schools, offers 2 health plan options, a traditional plan and an HSA qualified plan. And lastly, ABC Schools is contributing $1,200 a year to the HSA if she chooses the high deductible HSA plan. As mentioned, Katie's employer is going to offer 2 plans at open enrollment. The first plan is a traditional plan, and the second plan is a high deductible health plan, which is HSA qualified. For plan 1, the deductible is $750. Once she hits that $750, there's a coinsurance of 75%. So the insurance company pays 75% of the bill and the employee pays 25%. For office visits, there's a copay of $45, and there's also a copay for prescription drugs. $10 for generic, $30 for brand preferred, and $65 for specialty. On Plan 1, the max out-of-pocket is $3,300. Plan 2 is a high deductible health plan. The deductible is $2,600. Once that $2,600 deductible is hit, it's 100% after that. With high deductible plans, there's no copays on office visits or prescriptions, so everything is out of pocket until that $2,600, and the max out of pocket on Plan 2 is $2,600. With health plans, usually there's a lot of confusing terminology used. What I want you to focus on is 3 very simple things. So number 1, what is the premium that you as the employee pay? What's the portion that you pay? 2, what is the maximum out-of-pocket of the health plan? And 3, does your employer offer an HSA contribution? So first, the premium is like a membership fee. So this is the amount that you pay whether you use the health insurance or not. So you have to pay this just to have the health plan. And second, the max out-of-pocket is the most that you will pay for healthcare expenses before the insurance company pays 100% after that. That's why this is such a key thing to focus on. It's the most that you will pay in a calendar year for healthcare expenses. Going back to the case study, now let's focus on just those 3 things. Traditional plan, Plan 1, the premium, the amount Katie would pay just to have the health insurance, is $225 a month. That's the portion that she pays. The max out-of-pocket, worst case scenario, healthcare costs before the insurance company pays 100% is $3,300. Because it's a traditional plan, there's not going to be an HSA contribution. Plan 2, the HSA plan, the premium is $125 a month. The max out-of-pocket for the year is $2,600, and the district is contributing $1,200 a year to the HSA if Plan 2 is selected. The next step in picking the right health plan for the year is determining your financial risk of each of your health plan options. So the minimum cost, which would be best case scenario, Katie doesn't use the health insurance at all, doesn't have any healthcare expenses. We know she's going to pay the premium, and that's going to be the only cost. So the premium is the membership fee that you pay whether you use the health insurance or not. So that's the minimum cost. The max cost, or worst case scenario, Katie has a ton of healthcare expenses and uses all of her max out of pocket. That'd be the worst case scenario in this situation. So that would be the premium, the membership fee, plus whatever the maximum out of pocket of the health plan is, which is the amount that you pay before the insurance company pays 100%. And then we subtract any HSA contributions, because the HSA contributions can be applied to pay for your max out of pocket. So to determine the maximum cost, you take the premium, add the max out of pocket, and subtract any HSA contributions. Now going back to the case study, let's determine the total financial risk for each of Katie's health plan options for the year. So plan 1, we know the premium that Katie's going to pay is $225 a month. So we multiply that by 12 to come up with an annual cost of $2,640. That's the minimum best case scenario cost that Katie would pay if she didn't have any healthcare expenses. Now we know the max out of pocket is $3,300 for plan 1, and we know there's no HSA contribution. So the true max out of pocket is $3,300. So to determine the total financial risk for the year, we're going to take the yearly premium that she's going to pay, $2,640. We're going to add the max out of pocket of $3,300, and we're going to come up with a total financial risk of $5,940. For plan 2, we know the premium that Katie's going to pay, her portion is $125. Multiply that by 12, and the yearly premium is $1,500. The max out of pocket is $2,600, but we know the district is contributing $1,200 to the HSA. And because that HSA money can be used to pay for the max out of pocket that year, we're going to subtract that from the max out of pocket of the plan. So $2,600 minus the HSA contribution of $1,200, we have a new max out of pocket for the year of $1,400. To determine the total financial risk, we add the yearly premium of $1,500 to the new max out of pocket of $1,400 to come up with a total financial risk for the year of $2,900. After reviewing her health plan options and determining her financial risk of each health plan, Katie decides to elect Plan 2, the high deductible plan paired with an HSA. If during that calendar year Katie doesn't have any healthcare costs, she's going to save a little over $1,000 by electing the HSA over the traditional plan. So she's saving $1,000 on premium by electing the HSA. If during the calendar year she has a lot of healthcare expenses and she meets her max out of pocket, Katie's going to save over $3,000 by electing the HSA plan over the traditional plan.